Coach, if you just want to get us started with an opening statement about the season.
Excited to get going. Ready to play somebody else. That's it.
Coach, preparation on the ice and in the weight room this last month and a half, what has impressed you early on about this team before games have even been played?
Impressed us. We had a good summer. We were happy with that. We looked like a different group, bigger, stronger, faster. We came back in good shape with our yearly fitness test. I thought our guys did a nice job with that, and it seems to be a focused group. Now, if you can't be focused when no one's pushing back, we've got some real problems. So it does seem to be a focused group. I think everybody has higher expectations from an individual basis, from a collective basis. And you've got 10 new faces with the group that I think has brought a new outlook to the whole thing. So has that been impressive? No, but can you see a difference with that? Yes, you can see a difference with the group that way, yeah.
About those 10 new faces?
Just about the overall energy around the team. And 10 new faces can only help that. We've got, basically 28 healthy bodies, 10 new faces say that that's a good, 1/3 of the group is new. And they don't know from a results standpoint what the last couple of years have looked like. They haven't lived through it. And what we're looking for as a program is people to start to say that what's going on here is not good enough, and I want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of this turnaround. And I think 10 new people can help with that. That's what I'm talking about.
How have they impacted that so far through the first month and a half of the preseason, especially those players that have D1 experience?
Well, I think, the people that come to mind are Regish, Griesok, and Will Cullen. All Regish did in 2 years where he at Cornell was win. Cullen was part of a bunch of winning, I know, and Chase Griesok, had been a two-time captain at Merrimack. So I think right away you bring leadership and expectations. I'm a true believer in expectations and standards, and when you bring people that they expect to win, they expect high standards from an individual, from a collective basis. All they can do is help. With that being said, I think Dashke has done a good job. I think Monty Graham has done a good job of hopefully raising the bar internally from returning people's perspective, because what we're looking for from those 18 or 19 or 20 guys is what is going on here isn't good enough, and we have to change this momentum from a returning guys that did live through it. Because it's hard to live through losing. It just is. And I think those guys have done a nice job to say we are going to be part of the group that stops this momentum in the wrong way and starts going the right way. So it's not just the new faces. The returning guys have done a great job as well. Jack Clement has never been in better shape. He looks outstanding. Obviously Ludwig and Drasner and those guys are doing a nice job of setting the tone from an individual basis on every day, doing extra, wanting more. So there's lots of good things going on. I don't want to just talk about those 10 new people.
In terms of on the ice, what are some objectives you have for the team going into the first two games this weekend?
We need to defend, keep pucks out of our net. I'd like to start there. We're going to play from our net out. I want us to play to an identity which we're hard to play against. That's so cliche and so coach speak, but I want us to fight for every inch of the ice. I want us to defend, like I say, hard with detail and purpose from that defending. Those, to us, are things you can control. Nothing to do with our opponent, nothing to do with scoring a goal every time you step on the ice. We do need to create more offense. We do need to have a better power play, so on and so forth. But we can decide to defend and fight for every inch of the ice. And those are the expectations going into the weekend. And then we can start to learn from there and teach and coach from there. We need a starting point, and that's what this weekend will be.
My last question, look at the first 3 weekends of the schedule: Ferris State, Michigan State, Bowling Green, these more local rivalries that you have talked about wanting to kind of reinstate instead of playing teams farther away. Talk about the importance of these bus trip type teams and playing them.
Well, I think it's massively important at so many levels. We're trying to bring some consistency to that. I'm not sure that we've done a good enough job with it, but all you can do is ask, and hopefully people will be willing to play you. And we have no problem traveling. We would just like to stay closer to home if we could, because of the amount of travel that we have in a league. That puts a bunch of pressure on our people. It puts a bunch of pressure on our budget. Post-COVID budgets are part of the, let's be honest, they're part of the conversation. So the flavor that you talk about, it's something we want to have long term. And we'll do our best to do that, but it'll be nice to play at Michigan State again. I mean, it's been a long time since Miami and Michigan State played, which once was a pretty good rivalry. Obviously, we want to keep the Bowling Green thing strong, and I think you'll see Ferris State a while. This is the back end of the home and home from a couple of years ago, but they're really receptive in playing us moving forward, and we're receptive in playing them. So hopefully, it's something that you'll see consistently closer to home, bus trips, kind of old rivalries that our fan base is used to.
Who are some of the returners that you need to step up and score for you this year that you're really looking to lead as far as points go?
All of them. It starts with Derek Daschke, I would say. He's a guy that will play for a 5-on-4 and obviously 5-on-5. He's an offensive guy. What we don't want Derek to do as a defenseman is try to do too much and try to take on too much. I think Monty Graham can contribute more offensively. Obviously, Matt Barry is somebody that led our team in scoring last year, but that's all relative with the lack of scoring we had. He's an offensive guy. He creates offense. He's kind of reunited with two guys that he played junior with in Grisak and Rigish, and hopefully that brings some confidence to Matt's game. But he's somebody we're looking for. Ryan Savage, we need some consistency there in terms of scoring. Matt Barbolini is somebody who we think is poised to really kind of take his game to another level. Keeping in mind that he hasn't played one game the sophomore year. So it's going to be by committee. You're going to hear me talk about that a lot in terms of our offense. But from a returning standpoint, those are some of the names that we need and we are expecting to take their game from last year to this year.
And as far as person in your goalie situation, what did he do well last year, and what are you looking for him to do kind of leading you this year, as you said, playing from the net out?
What we're looking for him to do is just be the best version of himself and not try to be Superman and not try to take on the weight of the world here. This isn't about our goaltender. He's one of our 30 players. He's a good player. He's a returning all-league player. He's somebody that absolutely is willing on a daily basis to step outside his comfort zone and push. He's in a good place, but we don't expect him to stop 60 shots a night. We need to defend in front of him better. We need to give him more support offensively, meaning, okay, if he gives up 2 goals, we're going to lose because we don't score more than 1. Those things are things that we all have to take on collectively. That's not about Ludwig. And then sticking in goal, we expect Logan Neaton and Kirk Larson to make sure there's depth at that position. So we're pushing each other to be the best version of ourselves, and the goaltender that deserves to be in the net will be in the net. That's what we want at all 3 positions, but in goal, we don't want to overlook that. We didn't bring Logan Neaton here to back up. We brought Logan Neaton here to raise the bar, and we know the bar's high. Ludwig is a really good goaltender. He's a good player, but we expect him just to be him, and hopefully we can support him both keeping pucks out of our net, which means chances and so on, and doing a better job of supporting him offensively as well.
What do you know about Ferris State from an opponent perspective? And you kind of talked about what you're looking for out of your program going to this weekend, but as far as from the opponent perspective.
I'll talk Ferris State from 30,000 feet. I know Bob Daniels and have a long time. Drew Famulak, Mark Hoffman, they're a coaching staff that I've known. Barry and I spent 9 years at another position that we played Ferris State every year in league, whether it was the CCHA or the WCHA. They play really well at home. It's a smaller rink, so they come at you. They play to who they are, and they have for as long as I have played Ferris State. And that's the way we'll prepare our players. As far as the X's and O's of the game, that we can watch video from last year, but I think like us, they want to put last year in the rear view and move on to 21, 22. So we'll talk more about who they've been over the course of time. And to me, that starts with Bob Daniels. And these kids are going to play hard. They're again, they want to make kind of amends for what happened last year. And it's the opening weekend of the season. We've all had 5 weeks of playing against each other, or 4 weeks of battling against each other. And now they want to play somebody else. So we're going to get an excited bunch, a team that wants to be hungry and play hard and all those kind of things. That's what we're walking into. And that's how we'll prepare our guys. But ultimately, when you think of Ferris State hockey, I think of Bob Daniels, Drew Famulak, and Mark Hoffman, and they've been doing it a long time.
Any other questions for Coach? Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.